Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazak khair for tuning in to iPlay Islam Ramadan Revivers Juz 8. Today I'll be going through Surah Al-An'am verse 162 where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين.
Say, surely my prayer and my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Okay, now, in order for us to appreciate this ayah, we must have a certain mindset. You see how Allah has mentioned my prayer first, before life and death. This order, just like the entire Quran, is specific, as Allah within His infinite wisdom planned it to be like this. Why prayer is mentioned first is because prayer is one of the pillars of the deen. This, along with the other pillars, makes the basis of any Muslim, which means we must have a solid Islamic basis in order for us to be able to sacrifice sincerely. Now, what do I mean by that? What is a sincere sacrifice? It means having the correct intention whilst doing the action. One way to view it is like this. How does this society view sacrifice? This Western society, their sacrifice is always linked to some form of benefit in return. For example, when they treat someone, ideally what they want is for the person to treat them back in return, or even owe them a favor. Another example is charities nowadays. Their charity events have become all about the entertainment. Singers and rappers performing in order to draw the people in. Otherwise the people won't turn up. Similarly with schools and education, with their red nose days and dressing up for comic relief, why is it that they need to be amused in order to give in charity? That's because they don't have the correct intention behind their actions. Now, how blessed are we? It's the month of Ramadan, where all the goodness in the Ummah will shine. But there's a danger to this. If we don't have the correct intention behind doing any of our actions, then we can fall short in trying to honestly sacrifice for Allah's sake, which He has requested us to do so in the ayah. Let's explain this further by looking at the hadith of the first three people to enter Jahannam. The first will be a mujahid, a shaheed, a person who died in jihad, which is the most honourable death. The second will be a scholar, who are the people of knowledge, someone that helps guide the ummah. The last will be a person who gave a lot in charity. All these people will enter Jahannam first because they had the wrong intention behind doing any of their actions. The mujahid will ask why, whilst he's getting dragged into Jahannam by his face. And Allah will respond to him, because you did this to attain a name for yourself. So people will call you brave, and not to defend and expand Allah's deen. The scholar will ask why, whilst he's getting dragged. And Allah will say to him, you did this so people will call you knowledgeable, and have credibility amongst your people, and not to help them, guide them, and give them your honest advice. The person who gave lots in charity, he will ask why, and Allah will respond to him, you did this so people will call you generous, and not to give in the way of Allah's deen. So for you also, Jahannam. All three types of people who in their actions we would aspire to be like, will enter Jahannam first because they had the wrong intention for their actions. Which is the main point of this reminder. We must ensure we have the correct intention before doing any of our actions, if we want to sincerely sacrifice. So relating it back to the examples I gave before, if we treat someone, we as Muslims do not do it for any worldly gain. We do it because we want Allah's mercy in return. If we give in charity, we don't need any fancy entertainment or a 3-course meal in order to give. Because we know that even if we give half a mustard seed in charity, sincerely, it will only cleanse our sins. So this Ramadan, let's not go with the flow and uphold the values of this society, but rather adopt the correct values of Islam and have a sincere motive behind anything we do, in order to please Allah and be that one step closer to attaining good for our akhirah, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله